good. Awesome, great. So we have the opportunity to speak with Pang Chu from Catholic Charities of Brooklyn, Queens at Bayside Senior Center. He runs a older adult center in Queens, and would love to start with an introduction from you, Pang.
Hi, everyone. My name is Pang Chu. I'm the program manager at Bayside Senior Center. I've been doing this for about 4 years.
Thanks, Pang. So let's dive into the discussion. We'd love to kind of get started with learning a little bit more about the population you're serving, a little bit about their age range, socioeconomic status, etc., and then kind of the relationship between these different personas in your population and the spectrum of technology adoption in that population.
So one of the first thing when I started working at Bayside Senior Center was to really study and break down the demographics, the Asian population, the age range, and basically break it down to every different type of level. So I created a lot of instruments. I collected a lot of data just to basically understand the demographics. So Bayside Senior Center, the Bayside area itself, it's a little bit different from other senior centers because I think it's a little bit more affluent. The community itself, there's more college educated seniors. There's a lot of Asian immigrants, obviously, ranging about 50 to 60%, but there's also a previous, what I call legacy type clients that still exists at the center, and that ranges almost 35 to 40%. And they're basically the older population of the senior center. So it's basically a very good challenging balancing act because the younger demographics it's usually the Asian group, and the older demographics are probably the older non-Asian, Jewish, Italian seniors.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's good kind of to know, to have a good picture of the population you're serving, and how would you kind of assess their access to technology, their capabilities with technology, and then how have you seen that change over the past 2 years, which a lot of services, obviously, for your older adult center and other centers have gone remote, basically?
Yeah, so great question. So basically, I don't really usually emphasize like technology as a way to push and say help, because obviously technology is all around us. So I really don't want to say it's technology, but what I would do is say that we're doing this sort of type of work is basically to provide better service for you guys. So for example, even in regarding the type of meals that they get, I would collect information. What did they like? So people tend to think that it was a huge Asian population, they prefer Asian food. That is not the case in regards to Bayside, because they know they can get that type of food anywhere else, and they know where to go. They rather have something different that they don't usually eat. So one of our previous caterers, Russo's on the Bay, and they actually enjoy eggplant parmesan or a chicken parmesan, and instead of food. It's just basic stuff like that we can actually find out a little bit more. And as I always stated before, by doing this, you're kind of showing that you care and that you really want their input in everything.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, absolutely, data-driven, personalized approach to a given segment of population has been showing better adoption of services, better engagement with the community. And I agree with you. Technology is a tool in the toolbox for the social services that is being provided to the older adults. But how have this kind of change to remote services impacted your population and your services, if any, throughout the past 2 years? What are your services look like today, for instance?
So today we're operating at 25% capacity, but we still do have like Zoom classes. We do still have like low impact aerobics online. And how we do it is that we basically give them as much assistance as we can online. And but at the same time, we kind of stress the point of just to get them involved, and not so much to say, okay, you must have internet access, you must have this type of speed or this amount of memory to run this. Are we trying to avoid all of that and try to just basically see what they're comfortable with? I mean, one of the things with Blooming Health and just doing the ratings and surveys, it's not really about technologies. It's about just like getting them involved in the first place and getting them familiar first. And then once they're comfortable, we can move forward. I hope that makes sense.
Absolutely, it does. Yes. Again, I think having inclusive sets of services have been kind of one of the key learnings over the pandemic, because we know people have different personas, have different preferences. Some prefer in-person engagement, some prefer remote engagement. Some are, unfortunately, because of health situation, forced to do remote engagement. So having some sort of kind of inclusive services, and as a result, an inclusive layer of infrastructures could be very helpful. That's again our learning over the past 2 years as well. Let's kind of switch gears a little bit about technology adoption. Just general myth that as you age, the technology adoption is reduced amongst the elderly population. I think we have learned a lot during the pandemic, because a lot of these services are forced to kind of be provided through new channels. What has been some of the kind of adoption amongst your older adult population look like? What does the interest levels look like, and the engagement levels look like?
So the interest level is really, I think what people don't understand is that with seniors, they really want to get involved. They don't want to be really bored, especially with the pandemic. They will do anything they can to get themselves involved. So basically, I'm pretty fortunate in one end is that, again, it's a pretty affluent neighborhood where where their family members can help them to get online, to provide them information like, okay, if they want information about Bayside, what we're serving today, our newsletters online, the steps to get them to the website, or the steps to get to our newsletter and see what's on the menu, what activities are being done, and just even emailing them the information, they're able to get that information. And it was difficult in the beginning, but I think it takes a lot of work, and it's kind of like a group effort. Is basically most of the time, maybe you're not talking to a senior one-on-one, you're talking to their grandchildren, you're talking to their relatives, you're talking to their neighbors, just to get them that step in to be online. I guess that's one of the first kind of difficulties in the beginning, but again, it's not to get back to your point, it's not really about this fear of technology. It's really about engaging them and how you can help them. Obviously, I realize that other seniors or some people don't have that type of assistance that they can help, but I think that that's where the main thing is that we can provide that type of assistance to get them more involved.
Yeah, I think this is a very critical point, kind of, and which kind of segues to the next point I wanted to talk to you about. Is like, I know that your center is very good at data-driven services, and also kind of making older adults' voice heard, and personalizing your services to what they prefer, instead of going like cookie cutter services for like any segment of population. And I know you put a lot of effort in that. Can we talk a little bit more about like some of the kind of key examples maybe of how you are using data to be able to provide better services to your clients?
So I think one of the things we work together with basically with the wellness calls, and it's about consistency. And I think that when you say technology, I guess that's when it comes in, because with the pandemic, there's a lot of different type of seniors that that's coming in with the grab and go meals that are not your regular seniors, that are not your regular members. And we're getting that information and we're contacting them, how to get information, giving out questionnaires online with the scale type of questions and them providing answers. And then you guys basically just crunching numbers and then we can look at it. I mean, and then I can share that information with our case manager and we can see who's really in need of certain things. And we talked about this earlier. And I think that if they're answering certain type of questions at home privately, they're probably more engaged and they're more honest with their answers. And then, you know, basically we can do a better assessment. And it's about consistency because I don't know if the amount of workload any other case managers would have, they would consistently be able to contact so many people at so many times to basically provide the service to make sure that every senior is getting the proper attention and that they're okay with the situation they're in.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, one of the other things that we have learned is that for older adults, similar to any other age range, the needs change over time, and consistency of engaging with them, collecting the information that is needed to be able to better serve them is important. And that's one of the places that technology always have been able to help to kind of scale up that type of check-ins with them. And again, to your earlier point, technology is a tool. By no means technology is going to replace the human touch here. It's just to kind of empower that human touch in a more personalized way, in a timely manner to help these older adults.
I think you made a great point. It's a timely manner of things because once you get this data, how long are you sitting on this data to provide the support and stuff that you need? And it's like, it's that delay. And I mean, the mental health or physical health of seniors, it changes drastically, very quickly. And that's something that should be looked at. And then that's how you can actually gather data, have a data-driven approach and be consistent with it, like almost on a weekly basis so that everyone can do a better job and better service for the seniors. And that's where I guess if you want to say technology comes in, because that's that's the tool that we need to provide that service.
And what do you think about, we have been trying really kind of, again, based on the data we collected from older adults, on what are some of the channels that they're comfortable with, engagement channels like phone calls, text messages, emails. What are your thoughts about like this type of personalization? Like that we can reach out older adults in whatever channel they prefer to increase their engagement, to make their voices heard, to collect the data that is needed to serve them. What are your thoughts about that? Like, what type of opportunities do you think that would be able to create to serve?
I think it's we discussed this before. I think it's a great opportunity because you can always break it down to so many levels. What type of answers they give you in the morning could be different from what they give you in the evening. And it can be seasonal. It can be so many things involved. And I think that it's that engagement, that consistent engagement that's needed. So that if you don't do this, we really don't know much about what's going on. I mean, you can do surveys, you can question them on everything. And I don't think that, from what we're seeing, I think they want to be engaged with these surveys and these questions, because I don't think they felt, especially from me being at the center, I don't think they didn't feel that they had any control. And I think one of the things I try to do here is to give them that control, that, you know what, you guys can dictate how you guys want to be served.
Absolutely. Sounds good. This is very helpful. I think there's a lot of stuff to learn from here as we kind of move through this pandemic and beyond the pandemic. I think the hybrid service world is going to be a real thing, a necessity to serve different types of needs, to serve different types of segments of population. So look forward to working with you over the next few years as we adopt this new kind of waves of services and to serve the aging population in the community.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, thank you.